Hey everybody, so glad you can join me for today's video. So we're a couple days into 2021 now. I certainly hope that everything is going good for you so far for your first couple days of the new year. So listen, if you clicked on this video, more than likely you either know somebody who has anxiety, could be significant other, could be a family member, or you yourself have anxiety. So I want to take a very simplistic situation today and show you how bad it can destroy your life with anxiety. And the situation is so simple, and most people just wouldn't think twice about it. But for me, it's engulfed over a year of my life and changed my thought processes, interrupted conversations I was having with people, took away from my ability to comprehend things that I needed to focus on. You got your coffee? All right, let's talk. So roughly a year and a half ago, I got new tires put on my car. And that is the last time I did anything with my tires. And of course, over time, you're gonna have to put air in your tires because they're gonna start losing pressure, and you're supposed to do other routine checks, make sure the tread's good, yada, yada, yada. But see, putting pressure in my tires requires me to leave the house, get out in traffic, go and possibly have to wait in line for other people. Who knows what could happen on the way there? Who knows what could happen when I get there or when I'm on my way back? So something as simple as leaving the house is kind of hard to do because of my anxiety. My anxiety manifests in some form of agoraphobia, I guess you could call it. But bear with me because I only just touched the surface of what actually goes on in the mind of an anxious person. So, easily I should have checked my tire pressure within 6 months of having my tires changed. So for over a year, I have known about this task that I needed to do, and I understood the dangers of driving around with low air pressure, which I could have a blowout. See, recently I've been doing a lot of work out of town, so I'm putting 60, 70, 80 miles on my car every day. And one of the places that I went to that I spent over a week at I didn't have service on my cell phone down there. So if something went wrong, I was pretty much screwed. So even though I don't really believe what I'm about to say, quite obviously my actions prove otherwise. My actions said that I was so afraid or devastated at the thought of leaving the house to put air in my tires that I would have rather had a blowout in the middle of nowhere where I had no cell phone service, no ability to contact anybody for help, just as long as I didn't have to take a few minutes worth of a trip down the road to put air in my tire. And then the thoughts start plaguing my head where I'm like, well, if this does happen, financially it could be devastating because I could, hurt an axle, when I have a blowout. Not to mention just a simple inconvenience and worries, an anxiety inducing situation of being stranded somewhere. But I couldn't get myself to actually leave the house to go do this separate project. I couldn't even make myself stop on the way to work or on the way to somewhere I needed to be because with my anxiety, I need to get from point A home to point B and back to point A as fast as possible. I don't have time to make additional stops. I don't have time for bullshit. I have to hurry up and get back home to my safe zone. So in the process of putting this off, and not simply going and putting pressure, air pressure in my tires, I always had that situation, knowing what I needed to do, in the back of my mind. And along with that, I also had the what ifs something does happen, because I didn't do this, plaguing the back of my mind. So I would think about these situations, and I would get anxious at my house, thinking about the things that could go wrong from not putting air pressure on my tire, and also being disappointed in myself and mad at myself for not going and doing something so simple. And the reason why I felt the need to make this video is because I noticed that just the other day, it's yesterday, to start off this brand new year, I finally I noticed something that I never really paid much attention to before. I had suspicions, but I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to it. But we were cooking dinner, me and my girlfriend, and we were having one of our deep conversations about the world, politics, the future, everything like that. And during this conversation, I was thinking about needing to put air pressure in my tires. So I couldn't focus on what she was saying. So she would say something and I wouldn't really fully comprehend what she was saying. It's like having brain fog. You have so many thoughts going on in your head, because I can assure you, just getting air pressure in my tires was not the only thing in my head. I had thoughts all over the place, and it always ends up being financial concerns with me. So she and I are trying to have a conversation, and I just can't really focus on what she's saying. So I pick some keywords from what she said, and when she's done talking, I say something, knowing the context of the conversation and knowing the keywords that I held on to. I try to put together a response or something similar to what she said that I hope was right and wasn't completely off the wall. And I could go on and on about this and talk about the vicious circle that you get caught in when it comes to anxiety. But let me tell you how I could have made this so much easier, not only just for yesterday, but for the entire last year of my life. How I could have done something about the anxiety that I was having. And it's very simple if you think about it. It's harder to do than it is, to say it. You can say something pretty easy. It's hard to actually do it, especially when you have anxiety. But over a year ago, if I would have went and checked the pressure on my tires, I wouldn't have been worried about it anymore. If I had taken action on that simple little scenario and just drove down the street, no matter how hard it was, if I just would have drove down the street, got air in my tires, came back home, I could have avoided over a year of mental anguish. And again, it's not just the tires. It's everything else on top of that as well. Things that you don't resolve, things that you don't take care of, things you don't take action on that need action, that need attention. The longer you put them off, the more they pile on and the more your anxiety increases. And despite everything I've basically just said to you, there's still so much more to just this very simple situation that, just made things so bad. Just even from being quiet and not being able to talk because I'm so worried about things in my head that start spinning when I'm thinking about my tires, and I start thinking again about the financial side of it. I start thinking, what happens if I have a blowout and I wreck my damn car? Well, then I'm not even in a position to handle a financial situation like that because of this and that. And then see, everything just pours in and your mind just goes crazy. But guys, if I just would have taken care of the tires, if I just would have paid that bill, if I just would have called that person, whatever it is that's plaguing your mind and increasing your anxiety, we're in a fresh new year, everybody. It's 2021. We need to put what has been for most people the worst year of our lives in the past, and I'm using just the new year because we got to have something to cling to that helps us feel the need to take action. So for 2021, here's my challenge to you. If you have anxiety, this does not apply if you're watching this video to gain insight on why your partner or your friend or relative has anxiety. But if you yourself are watching this video because you have anxiety and you understand this struggle and you get it, then my challenge to you this year is to do something about the things that are causing you anxiety. It could be a credit card bill that maybe you can afford to pay off. Because that's one of the things that I have along with other things. I have a credit card that's only got, a few $100 of a balance on it. And I think about paying that off over time and every single month always having a payment, along with other payments that you have where I have the additional cash. You might have the additional cash and not realize it, or maybe you do, but you're just afraid to put it all forward. But what you're doing is you're delaying what is going to make you happy, which is to get it over with and take care of it so you can move on. So if you have a credit card bill that needs taken care of, take care of it. If your tires need air pressure, go take care of it. Yes, it sucks to have anxiety, to have agoraphobia, and have to leave the house to take care of things. Or even if you're not leaving the house, some of us have problems talking on the phone. I have problems making phone calls and talking on the phone as well. Everything communication-wise, or anything that takes me away from myself in my cozy, comfortable little corner of this house, it's anxiety inducing. It freaks me out. I understand. I get it. But guys, if we don't take action and handle the things that are causing our anxiety, then they are always going to cause anxiety. And they're going to pile on with something else that you're not taking care of, along with something else that you're not taking care of. And next thing you know, your anxiety runs wild. And you are having anxiety from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. You're trying to resolve these issues in your sleep when you're dreaming. So essentially, you are 24/7 just pure anxiety hell. You are in your own personal purgatory. And it is because of your inaction. It's also because you have anxiety. That's something that we can't control. We can just work towards feeling better and taking care of the things that cause us to be anxious. So please, this year, this is a brand new chair and it's already squeaking. Great, there's more anxiety. But start now. Start today, this very moment. If there is something that you need to take care of that's plaguing the back of your mind, go take care of it. Go take care of it now. Just get it done. That way you don't have to worry about it a month from now, 2 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. Take care of your problems as they happen and always stay on top of them. And then see how you feel at the end of this year. All right, cheers everybody. I'll see you in the next video.